So, we talk a lot about AI, right? But today, we're going to get personal. We're diving into the human side of all this. What happens when the tech just moves too fast for us to keep up? And we're going to do it through the story of this really incredible new novel. So, what does happen when that race to stay relevant just never ends? I want you to keep that question in your head because it's something millions of people are facing right now, and it is the absolute core of the story we're about to get into. All right, let's set the scene. We're in Chennai, India, and our story revolves around three friends. Their whole lives are basically built around the hum of a call center and these quiet, shared moments they have just before sunrise. So say hello to Arun, Meena, and Prakash. These are our protagonists. They're working the night shift at a massive BPO, a business process outsourcing center. And their world? Well, it's all about tight budgets, but even tighter friendships. The kind that are forged over filter coffee after a grueling night. It's a life that's really held together by that bond, but you can just feel how fragile it all is. And then, of course, something happens. That fragile little world of theirs gets its first shakeup. But it's not some big, dramatic explosion. Nope. It's just a quiet, kind of sterile notice that gets tacked up on a bulletin board. Organizational realignment. You've heard this kind of language before, right? It's that classic, cold corporate speak. It's designed to sound completely harmless, totally neutral. But for Arun, Meena, and Prakash, this is a massive red flag. They know exactly what it means. Their jobs are on the chopping block. And that one little notice, it kicks off what the story calls the skills treadmill. And man, I think a lot of us can relate to this. It's that panicked, nonstop race to learn the next new thing just so you don't get left behind. It's completely exhausting. And you can see just how this vicious cycle gets going. First, they scrape together what little money they have for a company AI course. They think, okay, this certificate will be our safety net. But bam, almost immediately a newer, smarter AI comes along and makes their brand new credential totally obsolete. So what do? They get desperate. They take on debt for these super expensive boot camps, only for the goalpost to move again. It's this impossible race, and they're always one step behind. So you know where this is heading, right? It's all building up to the breaking point. After all that work, all that stress, all that debt, the machine makes its move. The big upgrade happens, and the human cost is just devastating. Yeah, this really says it all. Two of them are just let go. Poof. No warning. They don't even honor the notice period. Think about that. All the personal investment, the money, the hope, it's all just wiped away by the cold, hard logic of a system upgrade. And what's left after a decision like that? Well, it's not just unemployment. It's shame. It's this deep anger, grief, a pride that's just been shattered into a million pieces. This is the stuff that never shows up in a spreadsheet or a memo, you know? This is the real fallout. But, and this is where the story takes this incredible turn, because after all the official stuff, the certificates, the boot camps, after all that failed them, they realized their real safety net wasn't some piece of paper. It was something they'd had all along. The novel has this amazing phrase for it, friendship as mutual infrastructure. I love that. Because it's not just about, having a shoulder to cry on. It's something tangible. It's a practical support system. It's the literal framework that lets you survive and start to rebuild when the world has knocked you down. And what does that infrastructure actually look like in real life? It's not concrete and steel. It's cramming for a test together on a rooftop with a cup of coffee. It's going with your friend to a dusty pawn shop to help them get a fair price. It's sharing a cheap meal from a street vendor and staying up all night talking about how you're going to keep your dignity through all of this. It's all that small, essential work of just holding each other up. So what was the path forward for them? Well, surprisingly, it wasn't about chasing the next shiny tech certification. Instead, they started to look inward, at the skills they already had, the stuff they'd spent years perfecting, just by working with other human beings. And that leads to the book's biggest aha moment. The big takeaway is that just learning more things by yourself, that's not a refuge. That's not what saves you. The real power is in solidarity, in sticking together, and having the creativity to look at what you can already do and think, hey, how can I use this differently? This really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the skills that became worthless overnight, those basic AI certificates, the bootcamp credentials. But on the other side, the skills that actually lasted, communication, a real gut-level sense for how processes work, client empathy.
These are the things they learned at the BPO, and these are the skills that actually helped them build new careers.
Which kind of leaves us with this one big question to chew on, right? In this age of AI, with everyone scrambling to upskill, maybe the most valuable upgrade isn't technical at all. Maybe the best investment we can make is in each other. What if the most important upgrade is actually a social one?